Hello students. In this question, it is given that there are a large number of very thin and converging lenses of focal length f each, and these lenses are placed just like that. There are a very large number of lenses, one after another, and there is a light ray that is passing through this assembly of lenses parallel to the principal axis of this lens at a distance h from the lens, right? So this light ray is incident on the first lens here, and the origin is taken as this point, and the principal axis is taken x, and this perpendicular axis is the y axis, right? So you have to determine the path or write the equation of the path of the light ray that will cross these lenses, right? So if you see it, you can very well argue that since there are lenses that are kept at a distance L each other, you can say that if let's say this line here is the lens 1, and after another distance is small l, there is another lens of let's call that lens L2, and since light ray is passing through all of them successively, the light will the path of the light will be linear between these two lenses, but the distance between these two lenses is very small, and that can be neglected so that we can determine the smooth path of this light ray, right? So we have to somehow find the equation of this path, and that is going to be approximately a smooth curve, right? Something like that, and we have to determine the equation of that curve, right? So how do we approach to solve this problem? So let's come to the solution part here. Let's say this is the path here, right? Now let's just focus on a very small part here, right? So let's say I'm taking a very small part here, this part. Let's say we are taking a very small segment along the x direction of length dx, and I'm just considering this part of the length dx, right? So since all the lenses are equidistant from each other, and the distance between each alternating lenses is equal to small l, and if I say that in just one length l, there is going to be one lens of focal length small f, and just using the unitary law, we can say that in the unit length along the x direction, there is going to be 1 by L length, right? So in the L length, there is one lens, and in the unit length, it can be said that there are 1 by L lens, right? So how many number of lenses will be in this small lens, small length of dx, right? So in the small length of dx, the number of length, let's call that dn, is going to be 1 by L multiplied by the length of this part, that is dx, 1 by L into dx. This is going to be the number of lengths. And if I am just considering this dx part here, the equivalent focal length of the lens or the combination of lens just between this dx lens, how much that will be? So within that distance dx, we can say that all the lenses are just closely stacked together. So we can use the result of closely stacked thin lenses. Let's say we have n number of thin lenses, and their focal lengths are f1, f2, and so on, and they are very closely stacked. So we can just use this result. The equivalent focal length 1 by f equivalent is going to be equal to sigma of 1 by fi. Here in this case, all the lenses have the same focal length, that is equal to f, and the number of lenses within this distance dx is going to be equal to dn, right? So instead of 1 by f equivalent, since the focal length is also going to be very small, right? So I can write here as 1 by df, or I should not even write dx, right? So within that dx length, let's call the equivalent focal length is only f equivalent, right? So 1 by f equivalent, 1 by f equivalent in this length dx is going to be equal to focal length of one lens, that is 1 by f, multiplied by dn, right? Because we have to add this 1 by f dn times. So this will become dx by L times f, right? So one result is here that we are going to use for our calculation. But what now? We have derived the result of equivalent focal length within this distance dx, right? So now let's come to this part here, that let's say the equivalent focal length is 1 by f equivalent, and this small part is represented as L here, right? So the length within this dx part is represented as this line, and this part of thickness dx is at a distance x from the origin, and at this point the light ray is at a height y, right? So these are just a coordinate system, basics of coordinate system. So at this point the light ray is at a height of y from the principal axis, right? So now let's say this is the principal axis of this lens, and the light ray is falling at an angle, let's say theta, to the left of this lens. So it is making, let's say, angle theta when it is falling to the left of the lens. And if there was no lens, this light will continue to go on and meet the principal axis here. So this will be the position of object for this particular lens, right? So there is going to be a virtual object here at this position, right? So since this angle is theta, this angle is also going to be equal to theta, right? But after the refraction from this lens here, the light ray gets refracted and it will bend even more. Let's say the angle, extra angle, is equal to d theta, right? So here this angle will become how much? Theta plus d theta, right? So just using the concept of external angle, we can say this angle will be equal to theta, this angle plus d theta, right? So here is the position where the image will be formed after one refraction from this lens, whose focal length is equal to 1 by f equivalent. So we can apply the result of lens formula. This distance here from the lens is going to be, this distance is going to be the object distance, image distance, sorry, v, and this distance is going to be the object distance u, right? So if this height is y, you can see here from these right angle triangles, these two right angle triangles, that this object distance O will be equal to y times cot of theta, right? So this is going to be equal to y times cot theta. Similarly, the value of V is going to be equal to y times cot of theta plus d theta, right? So we can write the equation, lens equation, 1 by V minus 1 by U equal to 1 by f equivalent, 1 by f equivalent. So 1 by V will become, right, if you write the equation, 1 by V will become 1 by y cot theta plus d theta minus 1 by y cot theta equal to 1 by f equivalent, that can be written as dx by L times f, right? So if we just take the cot theta in the numerator, that will become tan theta plus d theta, and the denominator will be same for both, that is y. So we can write this whole term as tan of theta plus d theta minus of tan theta divided by y equal to dx by L times f, right? Now this part here, this part in the numerator is nothing but a differential of tan theta, right? So this whole term can be written as d of, or the change, d is nothing but the change, a small change in what value? Tan theta, right? So this can be written as d of tan theta, right? Divided by y, of course, is equal to dx by L times f, right? So d of tan theta can be written as sec square theta into d theta, right? So from here we can write sec square theta d theta equal to y dx by L times f. What now? I have to somehow, equate this d theta with some another term so that this whole quantity becomes easily integrable. Right, on the right hand side, we have y and dx. So we have to somehow, change this so that it either becomes function of y and dy or function of x and dx, right? So what more we can do here? Right, so this light ray at this lens position is making angle theta with the x direction, but this angle here, this angle that is taken here is in the anti-clockwise direction, right? And we know that the slope of the tangent, that is dy by dx, that can be written as dy by dx can be written as tan theta if the angle would have been taken in the anti-clockwise direction. But since it is taken in the clockwise direction, we have to write minus sign here. So we can write dy by dx equal to minus of tan theta. Now using this relation, we can just change dx in the form of dy. So we can substitute the value of dx, that is equal to dy by minus tan theta. So dx can be replaced with dy by minus tan theta, and we will get dy and dy here, right? So let's move on to next page here. What we got was sec square theta d theta equal to what was in the right hand side, y by lf into dx here can be replaced from here, that can be replaced as dy by minus tan theta. So this is going to be minus of dy by tan theta, right? So just cross multiply it, we get tan theta sec square theta d theta equal to minus y dy by LF, right? So now it can be integrated. So let's integrate it and let's put the initial limit. Initially, what was happening when the light was hitting on the first of this lens, the ray was parallel to the principal axis. That means the angle made was 0. And at this instant, the y value is equal to h. So initially, when the theta was equal to 0, the value of y was equal to h. And at the general position, the y value is y and the theta value is theta, right? So how do we integrate this part? You all are better than me for this integration. We can substitute that, right? So we can take tan of theta as some another variable, let's call that t, right? So d of sec square theta d theta here will become dt, right? So sec square theta d theta, this whole term can be written as dt, sorry, this here will be dt, and this t tan theta will become t, right? So it will become t dt, and we also have to change the limits. So tan 0 will become 0 and theta here will become tan of theta, right? So, and towards the right we'll get 1 by LF is constant, minus of integration of y, and we'll just substitute the limits also, right? So it will become minus of y square minus h square by 2, right? Here if we just substitute the limits, it will become t square by 2. So this 2 will get cancelled out and we'll get tan square theta minus 0 by 2. So 2 gets cancelled out. What will we be getting as 1 by LF, and we can write, instead of writing minus outside, we can write here as h square minus y square, right? So this is what we are getting, and if we take the under root, we are getting tan theta equal to 1 by root of LF into root of h square minus y square. This is what we are getting. Now what? We have to somehow find the equation in y and x, not in terms of theta. So we can again substitute the value of tan theta. We had written the tan theta as equal to minus of dy by dx. So this can be written as minus dy by dx, right? So from here, y term can be taken towards one side. So dy by under root of h square minus y square will be equal to minus of dx by root of LF. And again we can integrate, right? So the value of initial value of x was 0 and the final value of x is at the general position x. Similarly, the initial value of y was equal to h and final value of y is going to be equal to y. So here we can take the substitution y as equal to h times cos alpha, right? So let's take alpha as another variable. From here we are getting dy equal to minus of h sine alpha d alpha, right? So let's just substitute that. So towards the left we are getting minus of h sine alpha, and in the denominator we will be getting h square minus h square cos square alpha. That will also come out to be h sine alpha. So numerator and denominator are getting cancelled. We are only getting minus of d alpha, right? So here the value of alpha was equal to cos inverse y by h, right? So cos inverse y by h, and cos inverse, if we put the value of y as h, so cos inverse 1 will be equal to 0, and in the upper limit we'll be getting cos inverse y by h here, and that is going to be equal to minus of, again the integration is of 1, so the result will be getting as minus of x by LF, root of LF. So these two minus will also get cancelled out. So what we are getting as cos inverse y by h equal to x by root of LF, and if we just simplify this whole term, we'll get y equal to h cos of x by root of L into f. So this is the equation of the path of this light ray that we are getting. I hope you like the solution. If you like the solution, please remember to like the video, share the video among your friends so that more people will benefit from this video. Thank you.